So Violet,
Yes.
Natalia from Spain just wrote, I love this. I could not imagine all the possibilities you have created. And they're really inspired by your work. And I think if I didn't take your training, I would not be working with puppets, or at least as much as I do, because you make it accessible. And so those of the people here who haven't heard you talk about how you use puppets, anything you want to say about them, I know will appreciate it.
Okay. Well, uh, I hope I come out clear because, as I said, my brain isn't quite working today. But Lynn Stadler offered to help me if I forget anything, and I know Lynn is here. So, hi, Lynn.
Hi, Violet. I'm here.
Yes, yes. Okay. So about puppets, anything when you're working with a child, anything could be a puppet. I don't know about the thing, but in regular life, for instance, here's a remote thing. No. Okay. Hi there. How are you? I seem to be talking to myself. Is anybody else here? Lynn. Hey, Lynn. Are you here?
Hey, Violet. I'm fine. I'm a I'm a coffee cup from Italy. You look like you're a remote. Are you a mouse?
I'm a, I don't know what I am. I think I'm a remote mouse. Yes, a computer. Nice to see you.
You
Bye.
too.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Okay, bye.
It's the way with kids, anything can become a puppet. And it's important to about your voice. It isn't necessary to make squeaky voices. It's good to change the voices, but not those squeaky. Somehow, some people think you make a squeaky voice when you're a puppet, and no, it doesn't. It's annoying actually to me. Squeaky voices. You can be any voice you want. It doesn't matter how I feel. Anyway, so it's important to have different types of puppets in real life. I don't know about the how you would do it on the Santray. Mike, that's a wonderful, wonderful tool. Anyway, in real life, I've had, well, you need to have some good type puppets. That would be like a frog or a little cat, and or it'd be a whatever. I don't know what this is. These are puppets that are do good things. You want to have a variety, so you would want to have a shark, a and the dog. You want to have a shark and a wolf and maybe a crocodile. Puppets like that are important to have too, the good and the bad, because life is like that. And the other thing that I sometimes have done with, there are exercises you can do with puppets. You can ask the child to pick puppets that represent their family. And then when they have them in line, you might have them say something they like or something that makes them mad to each puppet of the family. Now, I noticed that kids really don't like to say what makes them mad. It's too heavy, I guess, So we'd say something like, one thing I don't like about you, or one thing that bugs me about you, or one thing that annoys me about you, or one thing I wish you would change, or, sort of softening it. The parents especially have trouble saying one thing I don't like about you to the child puppet. Anyway, so this softening it helps, except that some children, they'll get right into it. Um, Another exercise is to have um, a puppet that represents you, and have the puppet introduce you to anybody else there, or to you, the therapist, to introduce you. This is my, hello, this is my friend Violet, and I don't understand how she can have the name Violet. Is she a flower? Anyway, here she is. And so you can have the puppet not only introduce you, but introduce itself to you. Like if you pick a dog, you say, I'm the dog and I'm a friend of the frog, and I came here to have some fun with you. I hope we do. The reason that therapists aren't that ready to use puppets, in my experience of doing lots of trainings, um, I think it's because you have to let yourself just become a puppet, or drop your ego, we might say. Uh, you have to sort of get right into the imagination of it. I don't know what that was. Some people seem to have trouble doing that. Um, so it takes practice sometimes to let go and actually become the puppet, and be spontaneous, and allow the thoughts spontaneously come through. Puppets are wonderful that way. I've had children tell me secrets that they wouldn't tell anybody else through a puppet. I always have a puppet. My puppet is usually the owl. Fact that it's a wise old owl, it doesn't matter much. But the owl has always been the puppet I pick. Um, as you don't have to pick the same puppet, or always the same puppet at all. Um, anyway, I had a child, for instance, who didn't like, she was in a foster home, and she wanted to leave. She hated it, but she wouldn't tell the social workers or anybody why she didn't like it. And of course, everybody was very suspicious that they might be abusing her. Anyway, she did, through the puppet, she was able to say what she didn't like. It's, um, it's her, it's confidential, so I'm not going to say what it was. But you can think about it, I guess. Anyway, I hope you can hear me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I forgot to say. And Lynn, add.
Lynn, do you want to say the question in the chat? Do you mind saying the question in the chat, and then anything else you want to add?
Sure. Um, let's see if I see the question. I don't see the question in the chat.
Oh, sorry. It was sent to me. It was about using puppets to deal with grief.
Do you want to say anything about that, Violet?
Oh, well, I think you can use puppets for anything because what the child says through the puppet or what you say through the puppet is so right because it's pretty spontaneous to talk about. I could talk about my kitty and what I miss about her, uh, that kind of thing. Sure. Lynn?
Yeah, the only two things that I would add that I think are important is I know you have a preference, Violet, about hand puppets rather than finger puppets because you can really use the body and kind of get more into the character. Uh, and then the other uh, thing I thought would be good to say a bit more about was why it's important to have like some villains, some puppets with big mouths like sharks or uh, crocodiles or dragons, and that we use the puppets a lot when we're doing work with aggressive energy and aggressive energy work when we're trying to get a child who's more retroflected and maybe kind of not so in touch with the body to come out, or aggressive energy work if we're working with a child who's acting out and trying to give them some way to contain their body by expressing their feelings with a puppet. um, but those were the only two things I thought would be important to add here.
Great, thank you.
Of course.
You know, puppets are pretty addictive. I spent a lot of my life looking for puppets everywhere I went. I got the best puppets in Germany. They make wonderful puppets there. I used to work there every year. So
I think there's someone from Munich here. Is that true? I think there's someone here from Germany, but maybe not.
Hello, here from Germany.
Oh, you're
Andy.
here. Okay. It's just amazing that Violet can mention, oh, I got puppets in Germany, and I can say, oh, there's someone here from Germany. So good to, I don't know if you got any puppets from where you're from, but anyway, nice to have you here.
I'm from Germany too, but I live in Portugal and I also have a box of puppets.
Oh,
from
do you?
Yeah.
That's great. That's so great. Nice to see you. Okay. Well, Violet, thank you for sharing about puppets.
you're very welcome.